Hey MRN fans, here's something I think you guys might like. I thought it might be fun to take a look at the Mortal Kombat universe through the eyes of a Marxist. I thought it might be interesting to view the general idea of the world in the game from a class perspective. Now, this is by no means an entirely exhaustive analysis. The full storyline of the game is far too expansive to be covered in a video. There is a ton of characters in the universe that aren't even in the game, so to keep this entertaining, I won't be digging too much into the detail of the story. And for the sake of analysis, we'll be ignoring the fact that the universe is entirely fictional. In the interest of disclosure, I am a Mortal Kombat fan. Unfortunately, due to life being the way it is, I've been away from the series for quite some time. I will say, however, that I remembered the day the first Mortal Kombat arcade game hit my local pizza store. I also remember how many quarters I lost forever in that machine during lunch recess and weekends. The story begins with the 6 realms created by the Elder Gods. Earthrealm, home to such legendary heroes as Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Jax, and also under the protection of the Thunder God Raiden. Netherrealm, the fiery depths of which are inhospitable to but the most vile. The realm of demons and shadowy warriors. Outworld, a realm of constant strife which the Emperor Shao Kahn claims of his own. Sado, the realm of order, whose inhabitants prize structure and order above all else. The realm of chaos, whose inhabitants do not abide by any rules whatsoever, and where constant turmoil and change are worshipped. And Indinia, which is known for its beauty, artistic expression, and the longevity of its inhabitants. For whatever reason the Elder Gods thought it was a good idea, they set down rules by which one realm could conquer another. The fact they created such rules means that they saw a necessity to create them, possibly from some kind of insight telling them that such invasions were inevitable. It is also possible that they wanted one realm to invade another. This is one of those cases where we're forced to interpret what the will of the gods is. There's a tangent about interpreting religion here that we can be drawn into, but for the sake of not getting off course, I'll avoid it. It was decided that it was necessary to win 10 consecutive Mortal Kombat tournaments. This is, as the name implies, a fight-to-the-death tournament. Regardless of the reason or reasons why the Elder Gods made such a rule, one thing is clear to me. The Elder Gods acknowledge that the realms must be in contradiction in some way. We can see this from the way the realms are set up. The realm of chaos and Sado, the realm of order, were almost seemingly created side by side in order to create conflict. Again, we ponder the so-called wisdom of the gods. We also see a traditional Judeo-Christian Islamic spiritual worldview where we have Earthrealm and the accompanying realms symbolizing the afterlife. Netherrealm is described almost exactly as one would describe hell. Ninia is described as some would see heaven. This does have a very Western Christian style, traditional spiritual structure. Of course, there are clear modern fiction elements thrown in. After all of them, there is Outworld, the domain ruled by the Emperor Shao Kahn. This is the main antagonist of the story. His objective is to conquer and control all the realms in existence. As usual with tyrants, this is for his own personal glory as well as power, we must never forget. I don't really see what having all these realms translates to. I assume each realm must have some form of wealth in terms of minerals and whatnot, but it's unclear from the game's series. Without a clear understanding of the material benefits of realm invasion, I'll just fall back on a quote from the Oracle. What do all men with power want? More power. The obviousness here is imperialism. Shao Kahn, for personal and economic reasons, wants to conquer all the realms. Some descriptions of the Mortal Kombat universe describe there as being more realms, and that they had been invaded and were conquered by Shao Kahn's armies. This was happening even before him. The emperor before him, Naga, had already begun these invasions. We must assume as well that there is some kind of material benefit to having control of all of the realms. There's almost nothing said in the way of the economic structure of Outworld, so we don't exactly know what that benefit is. We assume that it must have some kind of economy. What we do know is that this economy does contain slavery. The best example is the character Li Mei, who made her debut in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. According to the story, her people were made into slaves to help construct Shang Tsung's palace around Solnado, which had been a long-time legend of her people. There were other vague mentions of slavery throughout the series, but nothing substantial is said. From all available information, Outworld doesn't appear to have any heavy industry. There's no mention of factories or any kind of industry whatsoever. From all available visual information, meaning in terms of artwork, Outworld is completely feudal. Of course, there is an emperor, but there does not seem to be any particular organization of production. The most technical of production that seems to be available is old-fashioned blacksmithing of weapons. Housing is mostly done with primitive masonry, and furniture is made from wood and primitive construction techniques. From all this, we can deduce that Outworld is an economically backward feudal society. This would no doubt cause great antagonisms among the masses of people in Outworld leadership. Obviously, lives would be very short and intensely brutal. Healthcare seems non-existent, and that would certainly have a devastating impact on living standards. There is a race of people, the Tarkatan, who live as nomadic mutants. They are a cross between Netherrealm demons and the people of Outworld. This nomadic mutant race populates the vast wastelands of Outworld. Important to note here is that this is the race of people which Baraka comes from. In addition to this, most local authority takes the form of warlords. And from this we can deduce that there is no democracy, neither on a quote-unquote federal level, nor on a lower level. Repression is brutal and obedience is demanded. This is obvious when we look at how Shao Kahn interacts with his subordinates. Shao Kahn's power rests upon a collection of many powerful individuals. Like all dictators, he cannot run a society all by himself. It requires a group of people, a class of privileged, powerful individuals who support him. This is no different than it is for any dictatorship. What is interesting here to note is the fact that Shao Kahn's closest people, his aides or what have you, are all plotting to kill him. Reptile comes from a race called Raptors who were enslaved by Khan. He promised freedom and the restoration of his people by Khan if he served as Shang Tsung's bodyguard. Shao Kahn's adopted daughter Kitana was the princess of Indinia that he invaded and conquered. Jade is a leading assassin for Khan and was also a patriot of Indinia. Ermac is a warrior who fought for Khan, who was made up of souls created by Shang Tsung. Eventually he got free of Khan's control and tries to get revenge upon him. His most trusted right-hand man, Shang Tsung, betrays him in every storyline. He ends up taking Khan's soul as property, increasing his own power. In one case, this happens with disastrous consequences. This is a blatant and dangerous contradiction. Shao Kahn, as powerful as he is, maintains power only so long as the people around him, who are against him, support him. From this, there is a great deal of antagonism in the contradiction. Most of the Mortal Kombat endings for his supporters involve betraying him. As we watch the series progress, the contradiction goes through a quantitative change. More and more people antagonistic to Shao Kahn's rule become placed in a position of support for him. Given the nature of dictatorship of this kind, being one that does not seek to resolve contradictions, this antagonism will only increase quantitatively until it breaks out into a qualitative change. That change can only be the overthrow of Khan. Because of that contradiction, he can never really trust anyone under him not to seek his power and betray him. It is interesting to see how fragile his power actually is. The entire population of Outworld and the conquered realms can't like him at all. They would be very antagonistic toward his awful rule. On top of that, the people who keep him in power are always looking to topple him, most of it motivated out of revenge for something. Given that there is some degree of Eastern philosophy in the game, it's very possible to get a proverb out of it, warning about the dangers of seeking power. Finally, I just wanted to note how the heroes of the game, except for one, are all working-class people. They fight to protect their home from Khan, which is essentially royalty. But that's it for now. Maybe someday I'll take up another game and take a look at that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share on various social media, and if you want, there's some other good videos here you can check out.